Hello everybody, Mick here, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. So, I did a video last week on a spirit burner and a Lixida folding stove, which we've given away. That was one of our giveaways. But it sparked a lot of interest. I got a lot of questions about spirit burners. Why do I like spirit burners? Why do I think they're efficient? What is it I like about them, and what do I use? What do I recommend for people that are looking at getting into this sort of thing? What are the options? What are the prices? What's good? What's bad? What's ugly? So what I thought I'd do is draw out just a few items that I use quite regularly. I've many other types of stove, but these are the main items I use, plus a new one, which is a Lixida folding stove and burner set, which we're going to try out and have a look at. So again, the important thing is, at the end of the day, all these systems rely on the spirit stove to work. So as you're saying, all these systems are based around being able to burn spirit, be it denatured alcohol, methylated spirits, or any other form of spirit as a fuel source. And the flexibility of that is it's something you can source quite readily anywhere in the world. Okay, whether you are using nail polish remover, thinners, whatever you need to use in an emergency, you could pretty much adapt these to run on any spirit based fuel. Now you've got to be careful with spirit based fuels. Obviously you've got a vapor rate to think about, and you've also got a spill factor to think about. And again, this is one of the downsides of this system that some people worry about. But again, anything that's going to be using a naked flame, fire or otherwise, has risks, and you have to apply common sense to those risks. Plane. We'll let the plane go past. Do apologise about planes, but as some of you are aware, I'm under the flight path for at least 3 local airfields, which can be a bit of a pain, so hopefully that's not too loud for you. So the other thing is, with these various cook systems, not so much the stoves, but with the cook systems, okay, the cookers themselves, most of these will also can be very easily adapted to burn things like the dragon gel, hexamine blocks if they're legal in the country where you are, and quite often twigs, sticks, forageable materials. So you start off with something that's a fuel base, or if you run out of fuel, then you can also use them in other ways to keep you going, and also you're not limited on your fuel sources. Bonus. So let's get back to what we were talking about primarily. So spirit stoves. So here we have the venerable Trangia. It is a Trangia. It's got the Trangia T on the back of it. Okay, great little stove. In actual fact, I'm going to move the camera. Okay, so here we have the Trangia stove. Really the godfather of them all. Okay, Swedish made, brilliant piece of kit, made out of brass. You can always tell a genuine Trangia. They've got the Trangia T on the base. Okay, and that comes with a simmer ring and a sealing lid, which again, as we said the other day, with age you can sometimes find the rubber rings get a bit loose. Okay, a little dab of glue on there can sort that out, because you never put that onto it when it's hot. But that seals these rings, it stops the fluid from leaking out. It means you can carry it in your bag quite efficiently. This is your snuffer. Drop it on, it puts it out, or you can open it slightly and actually use it to control the flames. So if you want a slower burn, you can, right? So that's the Trangia. Next, we have a small tin here. Plain again. Do apologise about that. We'll let that go over. Yeah. So here we have a homemade stove. So that is just carbon fibre felt inside it. Okay, inside the tin. And again, the bonus of that is I can pop the lid on that and snuff that. Okay, it's not going to be so leak proof for carrying it around, but again, the nice thing with that is you tend to use just enough fuel in that. You can let it burn out. It's safe to carry, safe to go with. And next we also have this, which came today from Lixida, along with the stove. Now this little spirit burner is designed to pop inside like that. So if you put the top panel in, it sits in, makes a nice little stove. Now, I've been told that these are really super efficient, have a really good energy to them. And are quite powerful. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a burn test. Well, it's the only burn test I'm going to do today whilst talking about the kit. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a modern cook system. So we're going to use the BCB cooker. Okay, this is your stove. It's designed to be used with the Trangier. It's also designed to be used with dragon gel just poured into the bottom there. So what we're going to do to test this, we're going to put first of all the Trangier in there. We'll set that ready to go. So we're going to put the Trangier in there, and if you're using spirit fuel burn, a spirit burner, you want to make sure you've got the correct container for burning your fuel. So there we go. That is 1 fluid ounce in there. Right, so that's that set. We're going to boil 0.25 litres of water. Or 1/4 litre of water. Enough to make a cup of coffee. Do excuse the neighbour's kids. So, like that, like that. Place that over there, place that on there. And we'll set that to running. Whilst that's doing its thing. Nice little on that. So as you see, one of the bonuses with a spirit burner is it does give off quite a huge amount of heat. Okay, it doesn't give off a massive amount of light, so it's not giving a massive light signature, and it does burn with a near invisible flame. Near naked flame, he says, idiot. So that's a bonus. It's not giving away a huge signature in light. It doesn't give off much in the way of smoke. It doesn't give off much in the way of problematic fumes. However, it does create a lot of carbon monoxide. So again, if you're going to be using these systems, ideally you want to be using them in an area which is well ventilated. If you had to use it inside a room, if you're sheltering in a room and that, you want to open a window, you want to make sure you've got an airflow in there. Okay. Okie doke, so right, we're at rolling boil with that, and we're at rolling boil at 5 minutes. Okay, so yep, that's quite efficient, we quite like that. It's going to give us a rolling boil in 5 minutes. That will do for making a brew and sterilising water. Now, if I put the pot down there, as you can see on the stove here, it creates quite a flame. Now that flame's actually jetting from the top now, not off of the spirit base. If I get the camera at the right angle, you will be able to see what I mean about the bloom. You can see how those ringer holes, the main flame is coming from those. It's actually jetting up under pressure, and you can actually see the methylated spirit boiling in the centre. Yes, it is a boiling liquid, something you've got to be a little bit cautious and aware of. So, what we'll do now, I'll grab my Leatherman. So, I'm going to lift that back out of the way and take my snuffing ring, okay, drop my snuffing ring on it, and it's out, okay. Now that whole thing needs to cool down for a little while, but as you can see, that flame's out. I've got the flame under control. It's not an issue. Okay, the methylated spirit is still simmering away in there. Okay, so that's going to be creating vapours. Now this is a little bit of a danger point for you. You've just got to be aware that is creating vapours. Okay, those vapours are going to be rising off of that out of the heat. Don't want to be lighting cigarettes, naked flames around it. Let's take a pair of gloves. So again, working with something hot, you should always have your bushcrafting gloves with you. 101 uses. So place that there. So next system is this system. Now there's already a problem with this system in the fact that it has no lid, so it has no snuffing ring. However, I've been assured by people that it's worth overlooking that, because apparently this works really well, and it is nicely constructed. It is titanium. Okay, it's very lightweight, very simple system. So we'll put some fuel into that, again from the correct bottle, and that is clearly marked in there with measurements, so makes it nice and easy to work out how much fuel. With practice you could work out how much fuel you need for a set burn. So I'm only going to put 1 fluid ounce in there, same as I did with the other stove. It fits inside the ring nicely in there. That's a bonus, which means it's going to fit inside most standard Trangia style cook systems. I'm going to light that up. That light's easy enough. Quite a deep pot in comparison to the Trangia. I'll tip that away, and we're going to put the same amount of water into the pot. So again, 0.25 of a litre, a quarter of a litre. Let's set that up. Place that on there. Place my handles to one side. Put the lid on. Phone locks, eh? Pain in the bum. We'll give that extra 15 seconds. Right, so we'll see how it works. Now, I've been told that this cooker works a lot faster than the Trangia, which is going to be interesting to see. If it does, is it then worth practicing with it, working out how much spirit that I'm going to need for each process? So if you know how much fuel it takes to boil half a litre of water, you're not going to need a lid, because by the time you've boiled your half a litre of water, the fuel is going to have burnt out in your pot. That means your pot's got no fuel in it at all. Being titanium, it should cool fast. Okay, and there shouldn't be any issues with deformation, with it damaging easily or anything like that. One of the downsides with the brass pots in the Trangia, and I've only ever known it once, is if they're kept with no spirit in them, i.e. dry, they can over many years start to crack on the inside. Okay, on the thin wall on the inside, and once that happens, your stove's pretty much done for. However, that one seems to go on and on and on with no issues or dramas. So I'll quick look, see if that has come to bloom. Yeah, that's blooming quite. In fact, that has quite an impressive bloom on it. We'll time that water out, and then we'll take a look at the burn pattern on it. So that's very impressive. So yeah, that's 3 minutes and 11 seconds to a rolling boil, which is pretty impressive. So yeah, we're talking 1 minute and 40 seconds quicker than the Trangia. That I'm impressed with. And the bloom pattern on that. It's quite efficient as well. And as we can see, that's almost burnt through that 1 fluid ounce of spirit. So basically 1 fluid ounce of spirit is going to make 1/4 of a litre of water boil very, very easily. Double that, you're going to be boiling 500 mils without a problem at all. Fantastic. And again, so the technique with this one is going to be let it run dry. So that's what we'll do. We'll let that burn the spirit off that's in there. I'm impressed with that. I am very impressed with that. It's whether or not I've got to decide. The option is, well, definitely going to include it in my kit. And do excuse explosions. Any of you that can hear the explosions, don't know if the mic's picking them up. We've got a Royal Engineers training depot miles away, and it's Dems Day, so they're doing demolitions over there, so you will hear the occasional boom in the distance. So there, as you can see, it's burning out. Okay, once that's burnt out and it's out, then it's obviously going to be safe once it's cool to handle, pack away and use. So yeah, I am impressed with that. Very impressed with that. Would I still prefer it to have a lid? Yes, I wish the manufacturer had made a lid for it, because it would mean you could snuff it out if you'd overfilled it, you put too much fuel in it, you've been a bit daft, or you're having to move and you want to put it out in a hurry. So what are your options whilst he says getting a brew on and getting himself organised? Well, there are many options of cook set out there, especially in the spirit burner world. Okay, there's lots of different methods and types you can use. So we'll start with the most basic one, which is the Trangier. Right, again, I'm not saying to you Trangier is the best, but I do like it. So the Trangier system, a Trangier cook system, comes in sections. Okay, so you have the base here. The base holds your cooker. Okay, then over your cooker mounts a cooker ring that way, and it has these tabs in it which lift out for the various pots, frying pans and so on that you can put in. It comes with a lifter, okay, and it means you can cook a number of things a number of ways, including putting quite a large frying pan on the top if you wanted to. One of my earlier videos, I think I cooked a steak at Stonehenge on the Trangier. So there's the frying pan. That could also double up as a lid for any one of those other pots. You can also get baking systems for these. There is an Omnia top that goes on there, which means you can then bake with it. So that's the Trangier cook sets. That's a 27. So if you were looking for that, okay, that Trangier set, complete set with the stove, okay, so that comes with the Trangier spirit burner. So that is base, top, frying pan, 2 pans and the holder. Right, well, I've just found one of those on eBay for 20 quid used, okay, and they're 60 quid brand new. It's a brilliant option, especially if you're going out and doing larger camps, or you may be a family going out camping together. It gives you more of an option on what you can do, and packing away the whole system, and you'd put your stove inside there as well. Packs away and should come with a bag with the strap. The strap goes around it. To be honest with you, I don't tend to use the strap much because I find it's a pain in the bum. But the bag itself is brilliant. So the whole system packs away in there. Takes no size and is no weight because it's aluminium. Okay, does rattle a little bit. Okay, but then it's bright orange. It's not really covert anyhow. So that's Trangia, and again, so you can buy that at the moment used for 20 quid, including the stove. Another plane. So excuse me. We'll just let that one whiz over. Right, so you can buy that complete set for 20 quid at the moment. That includes the spirit burner. Now, to buy a Trangia spirit burner on its own, a genuine Trangia one's around £15. So the full set for 20 quid gives you that, plus that. You might only use that once or twice a year, but that is the baby. That's the thing that you actually want. That's that little burner gives you options for using other systems, okay? Whether it be using the GI stove. Now, you'll see me quite regularly, if I'm using the spirit burner, you'll see me crossing the pot over the top. And I've had people say, oh, you're using it wrong doing it like that, and I am. That is the incorrect way of using it, okay? However, if you've got a spirit burner in there, the spirit burner sits quite high. If you use this as you're supposed to, which is that way, it sits on top of the spirit burner and snuffs it. So quite often I'll just lift that out that way and it will quite happily brew the water for me. If I was using a gel system, so I might be using that with gel in it, set that over that quite happily and move it around that way. So that works for me. And again, these stove systems, so when we come back down through the stove systems, if we look at the Swedish system, which is one of the granddads of them all, the dirty stove, and these unfortunately are becoming quite expensive now. So you light your, place your stove on the ground or on a cleared area, light your stove, place your windshield over it, take your pot, place your pot in like that, and that's how that system's designed to work. Okay, it's a brilliant system. It will also double up as a twig stove. You can invert it and use it that way if you had to. Okay, you could use, again, dragon gel and things like that by putting a tray in the bottom. It's very, 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 very good. However, I will say the issue with the Swedish stove or Swedish cooker, I've seen them going from as little as 40 quid, in which case I'd snap one up, to £200 plus for the complete set. And the complete set should give you the windshield, which you can buy on eBay for 20 quid. It should give you the dirty can. Okay, now that's the dirty can, complete with its lid, okay, which doubles up as a frying pan, cup, and all sorts of other wonderful tricks. That alone is a wonderful bit of kit for cooking over an open fire. Okay, now you also get a little fuel bottle with that, and you should get the Trangia stove. Now the issue Trangia stove for that is a little bit larger. Okay, that's their standard setup. The problem being, you can't find the dirty cans for love of the money. These are what are putting the price up. So there's plenty of the windshields, not so many of those. So that complete set, if I put that complete set together, that's 200 quid's worth. Now what you can do, you can buy this for £20, windshield. You can buy this for £15, the cooker. And for as little as £10, you can buy a Hungarian or a German cook system, right? Which is, it's not as pretty, but it's the same sort of system and fits in there just as well. Okay, so again, with a bit of sense and a bit of shopping around, you could probably buy yourself a system. If you like that system, you could probably buy yourself a kit to work in the same manner. And the bit that is the cheapest bit to buy, and actually to me is probably the most essential item, is the windshield. The windshield is the bit that makes it. The dirty can, yeah, the actual pot, yeah, you can adapt that. You can use other systems with it. Okay, I've even put GI mugs in there, which you can do. It's okay, you can take this windshield, put a GI mug over it, or a Osprey mug over it. Even the Osprey will sit over it. So that windshield, I've never actually tried it. Oh, look at that. Even my cat will go in there. So again, that's quite a handy universal piece of kit. Is it small? Nope, it's not small, but it's fairly light and it is solid and it is robust. So you could put that into a bag, pack everything else into there. You could put your pot in there, you could put your mug in there. Yeah, mug in there, all your other bits and pieces. So yeah, that's one way to go. But like I say, they're not cheap. Okay, they are very well sought after, very well respected, and I don't think I've ever seen a video from anybody saying, oh, I don't like it. In actual fact, it's usually the other way around, or wish I could get one. Now that brings me back to BCB cooker, spirit cooker. Okay, so it's not necessarily a spirit cooker. You can put dragon gel in the bottom there. This is the Mark II. So what do you get with the Mark II? Well, the full kit should come as the base. Let me just empty that out. The Crusader mug. Water bottle. And your plastic mug. Okay, that's the full kit. So what have I seen those at the moment? So the Crusader, there's two versions of this. There's a Crusader Mark 1 where the cooker is actually half the size. It's a little bit lower. Okay, some people say they're more sturdy. I've not damaged this one yet. Okay, some people say they're a little less bulky. Some people say that they're no good because you can't put the Trangia in it. There's all sorts of arguments and issues. I like this system because it was designed to take the Trangia. The Mark 1 wasn't. The Mark 1 was designed to take hexamine blocks. Okay, so it was made a little bit lower, and this development just came about so that you could fit that spirit cooker in there. And that came out through, a lot of that came out through Arctic warfare, because again, Norwegians and the Swedish have both understood the beauty of a meth stove. Okay, so Crusader Mark 1 cook system is going to cost you about £40. Okay, and the Mark 2 is going to cost you, for a 4-piece set, it's going to cost you about £42. For a 6-piece set, which will include a meths burner, it's £74. However, again, looking on eBay, you can buy that on there for as little as £15. You can buy a Crusader mug for 20 quid. Okay, and if you've already got one of these, what more do you need? Do you really need the water bottle? Well, the water bottle's nice because it fits inside, it makes it a neat system, but that on its own is a cook system. That on its own works absolutely brilliantly. Okay, so if you then shop around the army surplus shops and that, you can quite often pick these up for as little as £5. Okay, and the plastic mugs weren't popular anyhow, so you can only pick those up for next to nothing. So shop around, build a kit. Now, little Ixada stove, let's come to that. Oh, no, before we get to that, let's come back to this one, because again I get lots of questions on it. So the GI stove, okay, that absolute brilliant. Okay, will work twig stove, solid fuel, gels, spirit stove as you've seen, and it packs away like that. Small, simple and efficient. American GI stove. Downside is, can I find them in the UK? Not easily, and when I do, they're a ridiculous price for what they are. Okay, but if you see one and you can afford it, grab it. So that brings me to the Ixada folding stove, which we will have a look at now and try it. So this brings me back to this little stove here. So Let's dismantle it, have a look at it, see what I honestly think of it. And like I've said in a previous video, I actually quite like the Luxardo products. I find them quite well made, quite efficient for what they are. So, comes like that. So for £27, bought this stove and this burner. Okay, 27 quid. So if you look at it, if you look at it this way, if you don't have a burner, well, burners are about 10-15 quid each anyhow. Okay, so that's for a titanium burner. That's good. That's a good price. The stove itself comes in a nice little bag. Okay, not the sturdiest bag in the world, but it is a good enough bag. Okay. What you've got is a hinge system, and now there's a lot of these folding stoves out there, and I do prefer the hinge systems because they're a lot more sturdy, they're less prone to popping open. Okay, there's less chance of you having an accident with it, and they're easy to put together. So if we do this one, we'll set this one up as the spirit burner. So all that happens is that comes round, you've got the hinge there, you get this pin, as easy as that, as easy as that. Take your little burner, it sits inside. Just out of interest, will the transier fit inside? Yes, the transier will just about, with a squeeze, fit inside. He says now he's got it stuck. Yeah, it probably just wants opening out a little bit with a file if you're going to use a transier, but you could do that easy enough. Little burner fits in there. Let's give it a go. We know that boiled water in 3 minutes, and it did a pot in the Osprey, so we did 1/4 litre in the Osprey in 3 minutes using the BCB. So let's put the same amount of fuel in again. Right, 1 fluid ounce of methylated spirits. Let's set myself up a bit better this time. Reset that. Let's 1/4 litre into that. That's that lit. So, top tip time. As you notice, I've got my pot diagonally crossways. Basically what it does, it puts a larger area of the pot over the flame. Okay, so if you're using this sort of stove system, your pot's a little bit larger than the stove. If you've got a kidney shaped pot, put it diagonally across, and what you'll tend to find, you're covering a larger area there of the pot, rather than having it this way where you've got bits overlapping the sides. So gives you more heat under the pot. So we're looking at about 310. It's about the same sort of time to boil water in that as it was in the BCB. There's a little bit more left in there, and again, so whilst this is up and running, you don't have to have posh pots and all the rest of it. My little kettle cost me about a tenner from Amazon, but you could just as well rig something up yourself. Do excuse the plane, helicopter I should say. same flash twat that's been flying around all day long. So again, don't feel that you have to go out. You know, Mickey's got a GI pot, so I want a GI pot. Mickey's got a BCB, so I want a BCB. Mickey's got a Swedish, because I don't want a Swedish. I bought that Swedish stove probably 25 years ago, Kaz? About 25 years ago. I nearly said Arms Fair. I think it was the War and Peace show in Kent. Okay, and I bought that from an army surplus store at the end of the show, and I think I paid about a £5 for the complete set. Yeah, so again, that was then. Now people, it's become the whole hobby and the whole interest, prepping, survival, and that's become a lot more fashionable. That puts the prices up. The items become rarer because there's less of them out there. That puts the prices up. More and more people want it. That puts the prices up. But you can find them, or as I said before, if you can't find it, you really wanted one, you can look around, find the various bits and pieces and components of all these sets and build it up for yourself. Don't be frightened of buying second hand, okay, because the majority of these items are made out of metal. Metal can be cleaned, it can be sterilized, okay. As for dents and things like that, I once worked with a chap that, when issued a brand new Stanley style thermos mug, he promptly went outside and kicked it around for 5 minutes to put dents and scratches into it, because he didn't want one that looked brand new. He wanted one that looked like he'd actually used it. So again, you know, it's don't worry about it having a little dent here and a little dent there. That all adds character, tells its story. Okay, so is there anything I've missed there on costs? We'll go through it again. So spirit burner options, Trangier set, second hand on eBay, complete set, 20 quid. From new, about £60. Swedish cook sets, you can buy the individual items and parts for as little as 15 to 20 quid. Okay, you can't get the dirty cans so easily these days. However, you can get the German and Hungarian variant, which will work just as well along with it. Okay, a complete set, right, £200 plus. All right, Crusaders, the Crusader cook set, okay, the BCB Crusader cook set, the Mark 1, okay, from 40 quid. Mark 2, right, from 40 quid for the 4-piece. For the 6-piece, which includes the spirit stove and that, from about £74. But if you've already got a spirit stove because you bought a Trangier, you only need to buy the 4-piece. The Mark 1 was never designed to actually work with the spirit stove. It was only designed to work with hexamine or gel. However, you can adapt it to use it with the Trangier. It just doesn't act as such a good windshield. That's burnt out now. So that's that little Lixada stove. Do I like it? Yes, I really do like it. Does it have a place in my kit? Most definitely. Will it replace the Fox? I think it will. It's not much larger. However, it is sturdier. And it's probably slightly more efficient than the Fox. The little Fox was absolutely brilliant. Loved it. That will still live in an escape and evasion kit. This will live in probably my lightweight kit. Now, just looking at that and thinking toast. Possibly. That's a test for another day. So this piece goes in the bottom, which we'll demonstrate in a minute. Now, I can't believe that. As we were saying just now, one of the bonuses with titanium is titanium cools really, really fast. Okay, so the actual stove itself has already started to cool down. Okay, I can take that pin out. I'm out of myths. Let's be a little bit cautious with that, but cool enough to handle. So if if I want to set this up as a twig burner, you could. That goes in there. That goes in there. That comes around there. Again, pick up a little pin. Little pin slides down the side. Now this little pin comes with this wire, and this wire, it comes as a loose wire. You could actually put it through one of these eyelets there as well, so that it stays with the stove. In actual fact, that would make common sense, wouldn't it? But that means it stays with the stove, you're not going to lose it. Now, as a twig stove, I've not had a chance to try it out. Obviously, we'll be giving that a go up the woods, but looking at it as a little bush box, I should think that would work absolutely superbly. You could put a tray in there, just out of interest. No, that one won't go in there that way. But you could. Won't go in that way. No. So my little homemade spirit burner would fit in the bottom, it wouldn't fit in the top. Okay, but yeah, I like it for what it costs. Brilliant bit of kit, and that gives me both spirit burner and twig stove all in one in a nice solid, and it is solid construction. Lastly, not least, you're absolutely skinned. Just to show it does work, take your tray, your little tin, your bit of carbon felt. I'm going to go put a little splash on there just to demonstrate it. There we go, and lit. So again, that works absolutely superbly. And actually, in actual fact, it is the best method to work with my GI stove if I want a spirit burner. Okay. So yeah, that's spirit burners. And again, the little Ixada stove, yeah, that's going in the kit like that. That won't be going as a giveaway like that one. You can find that one. It's 27 quid with the burner. I've no doubt you can find the stove cheaper without the burner if you've already got a Trangier. Personally, I prefer the Trangier. I like it because of the lid and the fact it's resealable. However, that is a damn good burner. It's fast and it's efficient. The only downside is you can't seal it, so you're going to have to figure out through a bit of practice how much fuel you need for each job. Okay, there's nothing worse than putting a brew on, going and doing something else and finding that you've burnt out fuel and everything's gone cold again. Okay, actually having too much fuel isn't so much of a problem, because invariably you're going to be in an environment, if you're making a brew, it's probably cold, miserable, whatever. Yeah, so you're just going to let it burn itself out. It just means you've got to carry enough fuel in your bottle. When it comes back to carrying fuel in bottles, that's what I recommend you get yourself. That is a proper Trangier fuel bottle. That's all right, just left a bit in the spout. That's a proper Trangier fuel bottle. They're not the cheapest thing in the world, however they are a safer system. You're less likely to spill fuel. They work very, very well, and they're quite lightweight. An alternative, okay, as you see there, meths, poison, both sides, green tape makes it stand out. It's just a simple hip flask. Okay, that, I know in a lot of places they would say to you, do not ever use a hip flask for fuel because somebody could swig from it, but I've clearly marked it as meths, poison, green tape. I know where it is, I keep an eye on it, I only take it out to fill my stove, put it away again. And if I'm looking at a small setup, especially a small light setup, that all packs away quite simply together. In actual fact, I should be able to, yeah, so I can get my stove, my fuel inside that GI mug. Okay, so you can then put a couple of coffees down there, your spoon, start packing away. Makes it nice and small and efficient. Oh, waffling now, mate. Guys, like, subscribe, share, do all that lovely stuff. Have a great week wherever you are. Have your adventures, get outdoors, whatever system you use. I'm not, like I say, I'm not telling you rights or wrongs. I'm just showing you what I use because people said they were interested. Have a play with it, look into it. Yeah, there are affordable options out there to suit everybody's pocket. Have fun wherever you are in this glorious world of ours. Have a wonderful day. Love those you do, forgive those you don't. And as always, peace and light be upon you all. Join us on a Sunday night for our Sunday night social. We'll see you there. Other than that, this is Mickey. Till next time, Mickey out.